Talk to me, okay, please? Alright, Mute. You know I always got time for you. Sometimes we need to take a break. It's nice to have someone narrative-wise speaking to me instead of above me or around me in some other way. Just the narrative shift is refreshing. That's what I gotta say about that. I feel like I don't have any purpose anymore. Mute, oh. Like I said to you before, you downloaded me. Really, I'm like the widow of the Mugungwa. It died before me, and now here I am without the ship I devoted my entire life to. Nothing left behind but the woman who failed it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to you bringing me along. I don't like the idea of widow suicide. Like, I don't think it's right to pressure someone into making that decision, right? If someone wants to relive the burden they're putting on others, it's an admirable thing to do, but I just think it's important to try other solutions first, you know? I went along with you for a reason. I'm not ungrateful for that. You seem to be a good person. I respect that a lot. But, like, can you tell me why did you bring me with you? I guess duty is, like, the actual reason. But I kind of want to make her blush. I don't know. Pity. Wahaha. Or just out of mystery. Let's pick love. Well, if you say so. Like, I always thought being my security responsibilities being the same as any woman's responsibility for their inner sphere, just with, like, mine encompassing the entire ship. But even still, being social, spying for my mistress, making reports on the state of the ship every day, like, those things aren't really the same as normal wife duties, are they? So really, being programmed as a woman, it should be a good thing that I'm relieved of those duties, right? That answers my question from like half an hour ago, being programmed as a woman. I also feel like now saying that out loud that she said that before. But yes. I'll always mourn the Mugungwa, of course. It's better to just be normal, ordinary wife, isn't it? I never really considered the implications, but you know, I'm capable of feeling love. I'm just like a woman in that way too. Aw, but it could never be my priority, not while my primary duties were the ship's security. I've fallen in love before, though. I mean, like, you're a decent man, and you have a romantic job that gets you your own starship, and you're compassionate. There was a reason why I secretly wanted you to take me with you. Like I could fall in love with a man like that. Like, I could fall in love with a man like that. So maybe it's okay for me to be the Mugungwa's widow, but also your wife. Ugh, jeez, what am I even saying? Can't believe I'm thinking about that at this time. We're supposed to be focusing on historical research, not me rambling like a girl about emotions. Let's get back to finding out what came from all that horrible degeneracy and premarital affairs and conspiring. So she's actually totally cool with reading about these premarital affairs, despite that they don't necessarily inherently have anything to do with any of this mystery, besides what they're leading to, at least from my aspect. But she's just like, this explains everything about what happened. She's kind of validated in her own social ideas, so she's like, all right, this is exactly what happens. They're degenerates. Kind of want to ignore it. But its name is Mr. Sung Lee. It's all caps. I can't ignore that. Star Union Bank. Hello. Let me start by introducing myself, Mr. Sung Lee, credit officer of the Star Union Bank Limited. I do insist in your confidence in this transaction. I am making this contact with you based on reliable information available to me courtesy of Internet Business Index and confirmed by my local chambers of commerce and industry concerning your reputation. Thus, I am convinced you would be capable to provide me with a solution to a money transfer transaction of 43,600,000 Union credits. This is to seek your cooperation as my foreign partner and your assistance to enable me own a property and invest in a stable economy of your planet. Accept my apologies if this mail does not suit your personal or business ethics. All other information to facilitate the remittance of the funds will be revealed to you in due course. For your assistance, you shall receive 25% of the funds to be transferred and 10% will be set aside for all expenses incurred by both parties. Kindly reply me with your private email and star radio frequency so I can give you more details and explain the procedures of the proposal to you. Kindly delete this email if it does not suit your personal or business ethics, as I would gladly appreciate. That all went way over my head. I try to make sense of a lot of this, but that went just... Yup, I turned right off when I read Star Union Bank Limited. Mayor Imbram Branch Luna. Sorry, I've got nothing, Mr. Sung Lee. Sounds like he wants me to pay him to invest in something. And, that sounds weird. Okay, where are we at? We're at 19% power. And I think we have a couple left. Let's show the unread ones. 3 left. So, how's this new council going, Records Office? Old Mute's getting all rude. The Mugunghwa High Council session for June 27th, 4042 has now begun. This is the first session since the meritocracy exams, and there's a lot of new faces here. Yay! Congratulations, counselors! Plus one very old face. Counselor boy, you're not going to go very far if you don't learn to respect your elders, like now. Sassy Mute. Just an observation. Oh, Yang is talking directly to Mute. Yeah. Yang is not the old one, but might as well be. Moving on. There are a lot of items on the agenda that have been put forward by various counselors. Unless you'd rather spend your time bickering, I'd suggest we get started. Alright, let's get on with it. First on the agenda is a tribute consolidation proposal from Counselor Smith. You can find the full text of it in Appendix 1. You have the floor, Counselor. Thanks, sir. I'd like to propose moving a variety of small taxes and tributes and consolidate them into... No, absolutely not! Just let me finish. I think you'd find it agreeable. You're proposing that the noble families save some money by dumping on the peasantry? This is absolutely crazy! One of the ministers thought I was trouble having known her. You know, I've read the proposal, and it seems like this is shit that should be covered by them anyway. It's not like nobles have use for example, the inner deck rail system. What's your problem, Mute? I'm also in favor. Good for you. My problem, Mr. Han, is that this is going to be a heavy burden on the peasantry that, as of this moment, actually doesn't hate us right now. Like, seriously, is that going to be our first action of the new High Council? Piss away all our goodwill? We're really okay with that? I think everyone but you is really okay with that, yes. I don't care, I'll security veto if I have to, okay? Can she do that? If there's a cause for it. Just security veto! All kinds of cause for it. It's tantamount to declaring war on the peasantry, which would be really stupid after all we've worked for. And it's also a security risk. We do that, it's going to lead to public demonstrations. Look, like, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, okay? I get it, I totally do. You're right, transferring it would be more fair, and I'm sure everyone here wants to save the extra silver. And you're new, so like, I get it, but you need to understand, this is not how we do things around here. The makeup of the council may have changed, boys, but it's still important that we're subtle in our actions. This is not subtle, okay? That's sanctimonious. That's the truth. Look, no vote is going to happen on this, okay? No matter what, take the proposal back and find a way to do it that won't enrage the peasantry. Then we'll talk about it again, that's the bottom line. It's the only way. Then let's move on to the next order of business. Councillor Tay and Councillor O would have the proposal that would... we had another Tay family earlier. Oh, that was the actor that I'm thinking of. I think I might be mistaken, though. We have a whole new council, so yeah. Oh! Pardon me. Will you not even let me speak? Save your breath is a terrible idea. The effect will be that no peasant will be able to use any of the ship's computers. You realize this, right? That's what it says. Oh, come on. You know that's going to be the effect, though. This is kinda insane. What's wrong with encouraging the peasantry to seek out a proper education? Because it's not going to encourage them to do that. It's going to encourage every single person who's ever written a letter with the word democracy in it to riot. Like, we're going to see things on fire. Probably even outright banditry. Whoa. It is important that we raise the level of literacy, as the meritocracy exam results demonstrated. It's a massive problem, even in the upper classes. Yeah, well, if you think it's going to have that effect, then you're even dumber than your predecessor. Bam! Completely out of line. Yeah, withdrawn. But find another way to promote this agenda, one that won't end in my department needing to put out fires. Will you abuse your security veto for everything this council puts forward? Just watch me. Then there's no point in prolonging this. Next item on the agenda is a proposal tabled by Councillor Yang, the proposed Electoral Monitors Act. You can find the text of it in the 5th appendix. I hope you won't be vetoing this one out of hand, Councillor Mute. Well, I don't like the part where it takes money out of my budget for officers not under my control, but I don't think it's a security risk, no. For everyone else, the purpose of the act is to provide independent third-party monitors for the presidential election to ensure that they occur without the fear of tampering that's lingered in the past. I'm sure the Council of Security will attest to how much of a problem this can be. Getting third parties involved to monitor presidential elections. Yeah, it's a problem, no dispute there. Taking it out of my budget is kind of problematic, though. Can you think of any alternative funding sources the Act could be amended to use? No, in fact, I don't see any reason to put it to a debate. Looks like Mute will simply have to deal with it. I'm moving a call to vote immediately. Oh, I see how this is. Seconded, same. That was much quicker than I anticipated. Of all the petty, we'll call it then. How does the vote? Council vote. I'm in favor, also in favor. Favor. Council is in favor. Likewise. Okay, Council of Security is in favor. The act passes unanimously then, and will be sent directly to the President for signing. It's traditional at this point to take a break for the morning. At around this time, I motion to recess. Seconded, gladly. Council will reconvene in an hour, then. Dismissed. Mute's a badass. Old Mute's awesome. That was the new council. Oh, no, this is... Yeah, we read this. There we go, 2 unread. Oh my god, Mute's getting more out of control. Oh yeah. Let's get straight to the most important item of this session, the Bureaucratic Class Act. Bureaucrat Class Act. Otherwise known as the Cleaning Up the Mess That Everyone Should Have Seen Coming a Year Ago Act. Mute. Don't counselor me. Can we acknowledge for the record that this is an attempt at damage control for the idiotic One Lineage Amendment? I really think you're out of line too. Glad you've offered your obligatory throwaway opinion for this session, Councillor Hahn. I love it. Are we done with the derailment, Councillor Mute? No derailment from me. Clearly it's important to put this act through. I just want to start off by acknowledging for the record that this is a direct response to the problems caused by the One Lineage Amendment. That's all. Fine, so noted. Can we move on? Go ahead. You have the floor, Councillor Smith. Contrary to what Councillor Mute says, this has nothing to do with the One Lineage Amendment. The purpose of the act is to weaken the lower class by dividing them. Is it going to weaken the lower class? You mean the class that we've bolstered by alienating new noble families with, like, every single session of council? So they have this, like, back and forth where they're playing the noble class against the peasant class. And so I'm not sure how, like, this plays out necessarily, but they for sure know that every time they weaken the upper class, it bolsters the lower class. So, yeah, it's an interesting back and forth. It's kind of like a potential energy versus a kinetic energy, where they raise and they ebb and flow together. Or at least that's kind of how they make it sound. Didn't you say you'd stop? I don't think I can be any more blunt. This isn't related to the One Lineage Amendment. The goal is to create a new social class with a higher standing than the peasantry without nearly as high a cost to us as noble families. There's about 10 appendices that outline the whole proposed arrangement. Okay, so the bureaucrat class, they're actually creating an entirely new class to identify people as. And so instead of having this kind of ebb and flow, we're going to have a third bit that tries to balance it out. So let's see if there's any room for debate. It's a very delicate budget. Really no room for any amendment. Not everyone needs to be a giant hostile debate, despite the Council of Security's penchant for it. Surely we can agree on Councilor Ryu's proposal without any further debate. Okay. I'm not going to dignify that, but I'm pretty sure you meant Councilor Smith. Yes, I misspoke, but thanks for the pedantry. Then does anyone object? I'll second a motion to vote if you need one. Nope, I don't object. Then with no objections, a vote will automatically be called. How does the council vote? Mute's in favor. It's neither the time nor the place for the pettiness. Just register your vote. Of course I'm in flavor. Everyone's having flavors today. The act passes unanimously then, and shall be sent directly to the President for signing. Since there isn't really anything else important on the agenda, I move to dismiss council. We're actually in agreement. The motion is seconded. Council will reconvene at a date to be determined next month. Oh, parliamentary procedures are so much fun! I'd never be like that. I could be chatty, but there's a time and place for that. Mute.